Hello, everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Please invite your friends and let us have some good time together. Uh, Muslims always they complain. I mean, the Muhammadan they complain about anything. Even if an earthquake happened, they claim that some Christian they put nuclear bombs under Turkey. They're a prophet behind every conspiracy. If anything happened, they blame the Jews, they blame the Christians, they blame everybody, but they don't blame themselves. And yeah, before I forget, somebody told me that Fakira was speaking to David Wood, and Fakira, she said to David Wood that I said that the Arabic, the correct way to call the Bible is, the Bible is an Arabic, the Injil is an Arabic word. When in fact, what I said, somebody asked me, maybe it's him in the text. Is it okay to use, correct to use the word Injil when you speak in Arabic? I said yes, because this is simply the name of the book, but this is not an Arabic word. Like in Arabic today, we say the word computer, but this is not an Arabic word. We say the word telephone. This is a French word. We have tons of words. It's not Arabic words, and we use them, but doesn't mean they are Arabic. So when they asked me, I was saying that yes, in Arabic we use the word Injil. The stupid he went around saying to people, or saying to David Wood, that I said that the word Injil is an Arabic word, when I have a billion videos saying it is not, it's a Greek word. So the stupid Muhammad, he took the word as it is, claiming that Allah he sent down the Injil, which would make Jesus was sent to the Greek, not to the people of Israel, as the Quran claim. But anyway, what you expect from muta boys and girls. A Muslim asked, in which authority Christian prince he speak? This guy, he is talking about troll, but he is the same guy who keep coming to our channel, and he posts in the comment section that the Christians, they have 3 gods. His name is Captain Majid, and he is calling me princess. I don't know, Mr. Majid. I'm not going to show you who is the female and who is the male now. This is not our topic. But as I know, you're a prophet, he wear his wife clothing, and he never received Quran until he wear it. And he claimed that this is Aisha clothing is the best, because he never received Quran except in the clothes of Aisha. And then the Muslims, the Muhammadan, they try to duct tape what Muhammad is doing, cross-dressing. They say, oh, this is not about her clothes, this is about her house. But that is even more horrible. I never heard of the word thawb used for house. I'm going to my thawb. That's funny. Thawb, you can go and type it in dictionary, you will see that thawb mean dress. But if Muhammad, he never received Quran except in the thawb of Aisha, which according to Muhammadan duct tape machine, it's mean house, that's mean Muhammad never received Quran anywhere else. So all revelation came in the time of Khadija, it was a fraud. But anyway, he is saying to me, in which authority for your knowledge? That is a good question. So I posted an answer for him to show him which authority I'm speaking of. Let us see where is my comment. Read with me the authority I speak of. A Muslim speaking about the authority. I said to him, your mother Aisha. Which authority I'm speaking of? Your mother Aisha. Look at the news, breaking news. One of the wives of Allah, Aisha, she said, one of the wives of Allah joined him in itikaf. The wife of Muhammad now, they are very decent people. They are praying now to Allah. Maybe we can kill more Jews and take their money. Okay, very decent people. So it says here, so let us show it in the website, so the Muslims and Muhammadan will not say I'm making, this doesn't say that. CP, you know them. You know what I mean? You know them. You show it in the screen, it's in front of them, and they say it doesn't say that. CP. All right. Look at the authority. Breaking news. You know, I mean, this is, imagine a woman. Her name is Aisha. She have a TikTok account, and she have 1.4 billion Muslim subscriber. Because I'm assuming every Muslim will subscribe. I think you agree with me. And now Aisha, she posts a video in her account saying the following, breaking news. One of the wives of Allah apostle joined him in itikaf, and she noticed a blood and yellowish discharge from her pee. You see that Muhammad, and they try to duct tape the word. What? From where? Where? What is that? A private part. What does that mean? Are you sure it says there? It says there. This is what the word says there. Are you sure? So, okay, she noticed, brother. Breaking news. Let me talk. Let me call Putin. He is interested in because his friend is his adopted son is Kadyrov, and Kadyrov now will be so excited to know the news that one of the wives of the prophet, her pee, is dripping blood with yellowish color. He will come with his pirate of the Caribbean. So she noticed a blood and yellowish discharge from her and put a dish. This is why I told you before, I will never eat in the house of a Muslim. They use dishes to put underneath of their when they are the same dish she eat. I mean, the Muslim, they say to you that the prophet, he used to have one dish and one pot. He's very poor, but he have 13 wives. I mean, you see how poor he is. 13 house, 13 wives, 13 mother-in-law. He's very poor. But he have one dish. Okay, so the one dish is used where now? It's between the legs of the mother of the believers, and now it's dripping. What? It's a dripping. I think we should publish that in public news. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The news of Muhammad. The first question you ask yourself, what kind of a woman and what kind of religion we are talking about? What kind of a woman she will go public and tell people what she is having between her legs and what she put between her legs? What is the personality? What is the culture? What is the nature of this society? But this is what people who like me, who want to make fun of Islam, say. But in reality, that can be used for meditation in case you are a Buddhist. It's dripping. Focus. Let us use the skills of yoga. Imagine now you have a woman in front of you, and she is dripping from her, and she have a dish underneath. Do you see the sound? It's magical. That sound actually alone can bring you a lot of inspiration. It's like light. Oh, I forgot, as long as we are talking about vagina, and I mentioned the word light, Muhammad claimed that when his mother, she gave birth, a light came from his mother. Are you there, Captain Majid? You are saying to me what is authority? I'm reading your books, you idiot. He said that when his mother she gave birth to him, a light came from his mother vagina and reached all the way to the palaces of Damascus. That was the first nuke experiment. When a Muhammadan asks what authority you have, all the ones who wrote about Islam, what authority they have? You don't even know them. You never met them. You have no idea who are they. We don't know even if they exist. When Muhammad he claims such a claim that the light came from his mother vagina, and yet nobody saw it in history, because imagine there is such a burst of light, and all of this is coming from a little tiny vagina. But we have to remember the vagina of Muhammad's mother was so big. It was a garage, because she was sleeping with every few days with a new man. In which authority you Muslims accept such a statement without proof? Anyone? Any Muhammadan can tell us how come none of you question if this can be true? How come you take it for granted? How come there is no book of history mention it? Any Muhammadan? There is a website. Let me see. They are giving you reasoning to believe that Muhammad is a prophet of Allah. This is the website here. I will use Google translation to translate for you, and I will give you the link. Remember to use Google browser in order to open it. Translate this page to English. Let us translate. The evidence of the prophet prophecy. Have you ever heard of a prophet's prophecy evidence? And other conditions and many things. Okay, the evidence. Let us see the evidence. Number two. Number one, it's in front of you. Number two, it says here, when the messenger of Allah, may Allah praise on him, and not he pray for him, to him, not for him, okay, for him, not to him, as Mimi Hijab said, and his family was born, a light came out with him. You see, they are trying to duct tape the word vagina. A light came out with him. His mother saw, the translation is wrong. So, and this light reached the palaces of Damascus. Let us be honest. If there is any vagina in the world have such a power, the answer, no. Let us face another reality and facts. Who saw this light coming from the mother of Muhammad vagina? Nobody. How come? Because it's a secretive light. Number three, when Allah Messenger Allah pray on him and salute him. He was born. Mecca was surrounded by constellation of angels. Those evidence, by the way. Look, did you see the title in the top? It says evidence. The evidence. So those are the evidence of Muhammad being a prophet. Uh, 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 and actually, there's one of the evidence, you believe it or not. I mean, you will die laughing. The Muhammadan, they claim that Muhammad, when he walk in the sun, he don't have even a shadow. There's no shade behind him of his body. I'm not, I'm telling you, this is what they say. It should be one of those evidence here. Let us see. We should be able to find it. Hold on, where? I found it. Second, the weak light has shadow in the front of the strong light, i.e., candle, has a shadow in the presence of the sun. Because the light of the sun is stronger. But the messenger of Allah, Allah pray on him and salute him and his family, he did not have a shadow. Because his light is stronger than the light of the sun. You know, and the Muhammadan, they claim that they don't worship Muhammad. No. Are you kidding me? He's just a man, like every man. But his light is stronger than the light of the sun. And therefore, he don't have a shadow. Hey, Captain Majid, are you going to ask me in which authority? I have all your laundry, man. He is his what? His light? That's not really normal. This must be God. This guy, he walk, he have no shade. Do you think this is the evidence of Muhammad being a prophet of Allah? Hey, Muhammadan, is that the case for all prophets of Allah? They don't have shade, or only and they are light? I thought I thought the one is light is Allah. So now Muhammad is light. So why you make fun of the Shia when the Shia, they say that Muhammad and his family, they used to be stars in the forehead of Allah, and they are made of light. They have the shape and the look of a human, but they are not a human. Do we have any Muslim? He have authority? One of the funny hadith of Muhammad, he said that you should not sit your body, half of it is in the shade and half of it is on the sun. Anyone knows why? Anyone knows why? Let me find you a video, but I will not play it. You can watch it. You know the Muslims, they will make a copyright claim and potato. You know them. Potatoes. They will never change. Brave, brave people, very brave. If we go to YouTube, let me type this. Let me try my luck. Why we cannot set half on the sun and half on the shade. Oof, 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 oof. I found it. Brother, why sitting? Read carefully, read carefully. The Muhammadan is asking for authority, which means they are people of details and evidence. They don't take things for granted. Why is sitting between the shade and the sun is forbidden it? And I wish I can play for you the video, you will die laughing. Why? Because the Prophet, he said, Shaitan, he said there. Shaitan, he liked to have suntan, not full tan. Hey Muslims, in which authority Muhammad he speak? Huh? How he knew? Okay, and if Shaitan he said there, so what my problem? So now every area in the world there is like a line for shade. Let us say we have a tree. So now the sun is coming, and then there is shade, and there is the sun right away next to it. And then what? This is where Shaitan he said. Do you see the mental illness of Muhammad? Is that true? The one who his mother, she gave birth to him and light came from her vagina. Is it true that his light was obviously bringing a lot of knowledge? Any Muhammadan? My Skype is open. And as usual, the Muslims, they are busy with their lifestyle. How they are busy? Reading the stupidity of Muhammad. This is why they are behind all mankind in everything. Imagine. That's what the Muslims are Muhammadan busy with. Let us go and try to find the hadith, the one we are talking about. Any Muhammadan can tell us really what's wrong with this man. Anyone? Can you please make a topic about later about fake priest, Hilarion, Hege, and Sophism? Well, my friend, there is tons of liars, and you know, they get the benefit of their lies. They are not priests. You know, the Bible says it clearly. Anyone who deny the Father and the Son and the Father is what? Is what? Somebody help me. Who is the Antichrist? So the Antichrist is the one who denied the Son and the Father, and the Muslim they deny both. So anytime Anytime you find someone he claimed to be a priest, shut him up and send him to his hole by showing him the verses from the Bible. Anytime you see someone claiming to be priest and he is partnering with the Antichrist, he is a priest of the devil. Do we agree, people? I mean, we have the verses are so clear. We do not need to, the one who denied the Son, the one who denied the Father is an Antichrist. Not the Antichrist as a person, he is an Antichrist. And both things is combined in Islam. Islam consider Christians who believe in Jesus to be Son of God, they are false. And Jesus is nobody. In one hand, the Mohammedan, they claim that they respect Jesus, but the fact, the Muslim, they love to insult Jesus. And they insult him every day. Even Allah himself, he accused Jesus to be a liar in the Quran. Anyone knows where? If you go in the Quran, let us see. My keyboard is typing in English and I'm typing in Arabic. Okay. Read with me and see how the Quran accused Jesus to be a liar. And when Allah, he said to Isa, even Muhammad, he called the wrong names. And there is a theory about this Isa. This is my theory, that Isa, because Muhammad, he thought that the Messiah is the son of Maryam, the sister of Aaron. And there is some Jews claim, which is against the Bible teaching, that Maryam, she have a children's. And the children have no father. Not because his father is like a miracle, no. But she did something wrong. She slept with somebody. So she have a son who nobody knows his father. And his name is Aisha. So the stupid Muhammad who made Jesus, or Isa, supposedly Jesus, the nephew of Moses, the nephew of Aaron, and the son of Maryam. And here you notice in chapter 5 verse 116, Allah is asking a question showing the stupidity of Islam. And for sure the Muslim, they would have an answer for this. But let us read it together. And when Allah, he said, and here the Muslim, they add in the day of resurrection. I mean, have you ever heard of the question said 1400 years ago, Allah will ask it in the day of resurrection to Jesus? I mean, how stupid is that? Same time, what is the question? O Isa, son of Maryam, did you say unto men, worship me and my mother as two gods? Instead of Allah, not beside of Allah. Instead, this is false translation. So here you see that Allah is accusing Jesus, putting him down, that he is a bad person, and he have this is an investigation now. And then Isa, he said to Allah, he gave him a blow in his eye, if you have any. And the Muslim here, they say he will say, but doesn't say he will say. It says he said, which is very stupid again, because how it is in the day of judgment, and he will and he said. In Arabic it says qala. This is why again we cannot take any Muslim translation seriously. This is Hilali Khan. Let us change the translator. Ahmed Ali. See, we just changed the translator. Both are Muslims. And when Allah said, O Isa, son of Maryam, did you say to mankind, worship me and my mother as two deities apart from Allah? In the other translation, it says beside Allah. Do you see how he used different the meaning? When in fact it says instead. Isa answer, hallelujah? What the heck is that? Could I say what I know I had no right to say? What the heck? What this is hallelujah, Muslims? What is that? Is that Arabic? Is that English? Is that Turkish? What the heck is that? Hallelujah? You mean hallelujah? What? Oh boy. Do we have any Muhammadan would like to join us live on air? Open it challenge. Islam made by a potato for the potato. It's just a collection of garbage and stupidity. And you're a prophet. He did not come out of a vagina, have light of a nuclear from it. It's a lie. Prove me wrong. Hey, Captain Majid is in the chat. Hey, Captain Majid, why you don't call us? As long you are a captain and you are Majid, so what is missing? And then Isa, after he got Allah busted, he says to him, what you know and what in my heart, I do not know what is in yours. Okay, Muslim, do Allah have a heart? Actually, in fact, it says not heart, it says nafsi, nafsuka, which means in my soul, but I don't know what is in your soul. Muslim, do you agree with the Quran saying that? And again, the false translation took off the word nafsuka. Change the translator. Shall we? All right. This is Ahmed Ali. Let us see Ahmed Raza Khan. Ahmed Raza Khan, most likely he don't even speak Arabic, but he translated the Quran. So it says here, you know what lies in my heart, but I do not know what is in your knowledge. Look. My friend, no, we said to you, no. There's no hallelujah in the Quran. That's a lie. That's false translation. Why you guys are not listening? I was laughing at it. And you are telling me, is it in the Quran in Arabic? Did you hear me laughing? Did you hear me saying, what? It says that? I'm laughing at it. And then you're asking me, is it really in Arabic? The word here translated as hallelujah, قال subhanaka, praise be to you. But the Muslim, he wanted to add some Christian spice to it. Look at the false translation. So now lies in my heart, but I don't know what lies in your knowledge. But look, the Arabic in the front of me, it says تعلم ما في نفسي, what in my soul, and I do not know ولا أعلم ما في نفسك, نفسك, your soul. So does Allah have a soul, Muslims? Any Muhammadan? Hello? If you don't believe that the word nafs means soul, I can type the word in the Quran right now in the front of everybody. Let us go to the search engine. Nafs. Here we go. Look how many, brother. Look, all of this, brother, all of this. So we got Allah busted with unlimited supply of spanking. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Oh boy. وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب فلا تعلم نفس لا. What the heck is that? What the heck is that? Hey Muhammadan, what's going on? Huh? Muhammadans, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when I come for you? Bad boys. Anyone here is willing or unwilling to call us and prove us wrong? Chapter 2, verse 123. واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفسا عن نفس عن نفس. Twice the word. See, the word here is the same as word. What it says? Soul from other soul. Soul. So when Allah speaking to Jesus, and Jesus, he said to him, you know what is in my soul, but I do not know what is in yours. Any Muhammadan would like to tell us how Allah, he says such a thing about himself, he have a soul? Well, those verses exist all over the Quran. This is chapter 2, verse number 123. But as you see, I'm showing you all those chapters. Stop any of them and open them, and you will see the words which is in yellow. This is the word nafs. Nafs means soul. We have all of those. Chapter 11 is an example, not limited. 105. Nafs. So the Messiah, he said to Allah, you know what is in my nafs, but I do not know what is in your nafs. Any Muhammadan? Mayday, mayday. In which authority Isa saying to Allah that he have a soul, and Allah, he did not say to him, you are wrong, I don't have one. Just to show you, Andrew Martin, Holy Spirit is never classed as soul. Al-Ruh, Al-Qudus, a spirit. Let us not to say things if we don't know the language. Ruh, ruh is just another word for soul. So don't make yourself like the genius who know. Ruh is just another word for soul. But when they say Ruh al-Qudus, that make it holy. So in Arabic is different from the Holy Spirit in the Bible, because this is here, it is Ruh and it is holy. Ruh is a soul too. In Islam and in Arabic. But if you speak in the Bible, then it is not. So based on Islam, the word ruh is simply a word present soul. As an example, I will type the word ruh in the Quran. It says here, وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِنْ رُوحِ اللَّهِ. And here the Muslim, they translate it as the hope of Allah mercy. The other verse, chapter 16, verse 102, which is again false translation as usual, it says, say, Ruh al-Qudus, from your Lord, with the truth. But the sentence here doesn't make sense. I mean, say, Ruh al-Qudus. The Muslim here, they are adding words falsely. It's not there. All of this is false. Let me highlight all the words the Muslims, they are adding to the Quran just to duct tape the stupidity of the Quran. So I will take just the words which is not in the Quran from the translation. Beach. So you can see why the Quran, why the Muslim, they have to add those words, because it doesn't make sense. So the word say is there. The word oh Muhammad is not. The word Ruh al-Qudus, you know, is there. The word Jibreel is not. The word brought it is wrong. It says he descend. It descend. But I will let it go. The Quran is not. Down from your Lord is there. With the truth is wrong, because it says by the truth, but I will leave it. So look what we have now. How in the world we will know what this verse is saying? Say Ruh al-Qudus, which supposedly Holy Spirit, has brought it down. Okay, brought what? The Muslim, they will say, read the verse before it. Read the verse before it. But the verse before it, it says Allah, he sent it, not Jibreel. Go. Let us go to the verse before it. And when we change a verse, have you ever heard of a God, he changed a verse? Read carefully. I'm not the one who's saying that. And when we change a verse between two brackets of the Quran, this is not in the Quran again. I.e. cancel is not in the Quran. Abrogate is not in the Quran. You see how much addition? Just to fix the stupid Quran. Because if they don't add those things, the Quran is stupid, so stupid, there is nobody can understand anything. It's abrogate, it's order. Okay. In a place of another, this is in the Quran. Okay, so let us focus a little bit. And when we change the verse in a place of another, I will take all now I will use a blue line. Let us see, so we can make it clear what is in the Quran. I will use a blue for what is in the Quran. And when we change a verse in a place of another, and Allah knows the best. Of what he sent. What did this believer they say to him? You Muhammad, you are just a scumbag. I mean, and they are laughing at him. Read it. The disbeliever say to Muhammad, you are nothing but a muftari, forger and liar. Why they are laughing? Because this guy, he received a verse from his God in the morning, he received the opposite afternoon. Any Muhammadan? A Muslim asking me to talk about the Trinity. The Muslim, they love to switch to the topic of the Trinity. My friend, the answer for a Trinity is very simple. My God can be 3 and 1. Your God cannot, for he is not Almighty God. Nothing is impossible for my God. It's impossible for your fake God to be 3 and 1. Very simple. I will answer you. The Bible says, nothing is impossible with God. What is impossible for man is possible for God. So your God is a man. That's why your God in the Quran says, how can I have a son when I don't have a girlfriend? So actually I paid for Allah account in dating website, so maybe we can get him lucky. Fakira will marry him. Gladia is insisting that the word Holy Spirit as a soul. Okay, he's talking to somebody about the Bible. Yeah, in the Bible, the Holy Spirit. This is why it's called Holy and Spirit. You know, because there is difference between spirit and soul. Soul is the even animals have it. When God he created all his creatures, animals and human, each has a soul. So you have a soul, you have a flesh. That's why we as a Christians, when we go and do baptism, what we receive? We receive the Holy Spirit. So our existence is already, we are existed without having the Holy Spirit. We have a soul, we have a flesh. But when you do baptism, you receive the Holy Spirit. So a Christian person only, a believer in Christ only, is the one who have a 3 and 1 in one person in the same time. Flesh, soul, and Holy Spirit. Muslims don't have that. Any Muhammadan can answer. Look at this disaster. I mean, we are just reading stupid. All the Quran is stupid. And the funny is, the Muhammadan, they say that when the Arab, they heard the Quran, they went so crazy. It was so good, brother. Just yesterday, we make a video about who can make Quran like the Quran. Do we have any Muhammadan? Why Allah, he want to make a verse in a place of another verse? Actually, I'm going to show you a clear stupid contradiction in the Quran. This is the word baddalna. Baddalna. Baddalna is coming from the word baddala. Baddala means he changed. Baddalna, we changed. Because Muslims, as usual, they say to you, Allah, he don't feel secure. So he have to use the word we in addition to make himself like majestic, which means Allah is fake. Because when you add a fake title to you, if you are one, and you say we because you feel better, but by just using the word we, that means you are not self-sufficient and you are not confident of you being I to be respected. But look what happened. وَإِذَا بَدَّلْنَا آيَةً مَكَانَ آيَةً. So if we change a verse, replace it, exchange it, instead of other one. Okay, and what? Nothing. Nothing. Well, even the verse, the sentence is not complete. And when we change an ayah instead of another, like a verse instead of other verse, and what is the, guys? What is the conclusion? Nothing. So okay, and we change the verse instead of other verse, and then right away he says, the disbeliever say you are a fraud. Okay, what are you trying to say? He's trying to say to you, because the Quran is stupid Arabic language, when Muhammad he received verses, cancel other verse. He just said, the disbelievers laugh at Muhammad and say to him, you are a scumbag, liar. But look what happened. The Quran says, لا مبدل لكلمات الله. Nobody can change the words of Allah. And no change for it. Not only nobody, no change. Actually, in the verse doesn't say nobody. لا مبدل. No change of the words of Allah. Okay. All those verses saying the same. Chapter 6, verse number 34. Chapter 6, verse 115. Okay. And there's more, but let's see one of them. Chapter 6, verse 115. It says, none, this false translation, by the way, because it doesn't say no one can change it. It says no change, no exchange for the word of Allah. But the other verse just said Allah he changed verses instead of verses. But here he says no change for the word of Allah. It doesn't say none can. Read carefully. You can take la one by one. La in Arabic mean no. No. So somebody say to you, you wanna go? You can say la. It's just like in English you say no. Mubaddila, change. Okay. But the other verse just said that Allah he changed verses instead of verses. The Muhammadan they will say to you, no. Allah saying nobody can change his words. Here he is saying he changed his words. That's what they will say to you. But look what happened now. If Allah he says no change of his word, and then he himself he changed his words, that means he is a double standard person. Because nowhere in the verse says that none or no person can change. It says la mubaddila, no change for the word of Allah. There's nobody, there's the word none is not exist, like no person. My Skype is open and Muhammadan are in the limbo. And this is the case for all those verses. Muhammad, because he's empty, he keep repeating the same thing. Why you are adding the same thing in every chapter? Look, here again they say, none that can alter the words of Allah. And they even add the word decrease. But in Arabic, nowhere it says, no one can do that. It says, no change for the word of Allah. Do we have any Muhammadan? Mayday. Who is a Mohammedan can bring me his sheikh, big sheikh? I mean, all of you are a bunch of YouTuber kids trying to refute me. It doesn't say that, CP. And how they refute me? They say this, look. Okay. CP. This hadith reported by Sheba reported from Zaid reported from Potato reported from Tomato, everybody knows that he's a liar. We got you busted. This is how they refute me. Well, my friend, this is what I'm saying. All of you are a bunch of liars. So you Muslims, you Muhammadan, in order to avoid the embarrassment of what your prophet says, you accused that his companions are a bunch of liars. So if Muhammad companions are a bunch of liars, who is Muhammad? In the Middle East we say, tell me who is your friends, I will tell you who you are. Are you getting the point, guys? If the Muslim trying to say to us that the narrator of a hadith, and the funny here, it says Hassan. Look, Hassan, it's mean good. Like when the funny David Wood and the funny other guy, they went to meet Uthman, the stupid Uthman, they could not even find the hadith in the phone. And later, and he said to them, this is a weak hadith, but here it says Hassan. So suddenly Hassan is not good, it's weak. Hassan mean good. One of the names of the grandsons of Muhammad is Hassan. I mean, can you believe it? If the word Hassan something bad, is he going to name his grandsons Hassan, which mean good? Do we have any Muhammadan? Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Who is a Muhammadan? He would like to call us and receive the blessing from Allah, which is going to be 80,000 boys wearing nothing around you. Who wanna get 80,000 boys reward? A Muslim saying to me, CP is coward. My friend, I don't know. The coward, he will never dare to write books about Muhammad and spank his butt every day. Who is the coward? I mean, this is the biggest terrorist religion in the world. And yet I don't hesitate to wake up in the morning, make my coffee, and spank your prophet. And I challenge you to do anything about it. Who is the coward? It's you. Because if you are not a coward, you will not sit home watching me doing it. Why you don't join ISIS, Al-Qaeda? Because you are a coward. You don't believe in the promises of Muhammad. All those who don't join the terrorist groups, you know, they don't join for a simple reason. They don't believe this is true. The true believer is the one who joined ISIS, and this is what Prophet Andrew Tate, peace be upon him, said. The true Muslims is Taliban. The really true Muslims is, he's right. They do jihad. They beat women. They forbid women from school. They forbid women from going to work. Even they forbid chairs, because if a woman, she sit on a chair, the word chair in Arabic is a male word. How you can make a female sit in a male? So they forbid chairs. They forbid even those, like, you know, things you dress to put the clothes on them in the stores. Haram. Idols. True Muslims. True Muslim mean to be true stupid. Literally. So if you go to Saudi Arabia now, they have you know, nightclub and dancing and theater and movies and etc. and competition. Emirat, Bahrain. I mean, they, you know, even the Prince of Qatar, who is not a prince, you know, just a Bedouin, who the American, they made him a royal, and the bridge. Remember, this country was born before many of you. I mean, many of you is born before this country is born. Anyway, so if you go to those countries, you will see that in one hand they claim that they are people who follow Islam and they build mosque in every corner. In the same time, isn't it Muhammad? He says that Allah will make those who play music and drink alcohol and have dancing girls, Allah will make them pigs and monkeys. And by the way, this is a proof that Muhammad is a false prophet. Let us see the other one. Hold on. Do you see it? So if Muhammad is a true prophet and he made the prophecies, Allah saying to him that my people will among many nations will drink wine, calling it by another name, but those things exist in the time of Muhammad. Muhammad himself, he used to tell people how to make wine. He used to teach them how to make wine. I mean, look at the hypocrite. He used to drink wine 3-4 days a week. In fact, the Muslim, they used to pray and they are totally drunk, and Muhammad never opened his mouth about it until the Christian and the Jew, they start making fun of him, and the Arab. So he made a verse says, Allah said, don't approach the prayer. He did not even forbid them. He said, don't approach the prayer when you are drunk, because they became the joke of everybody. And not only that, in fact, they start beating each other inside the mosque. If you read the story behind this verse, you will see that the Muslims are fighting inside the mosque, breaking the teeth of each other. They're drunk. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm going to beat the hell of you. Subhanallah is going to beat me. Okay. Any Muhammadan? In fact, in the beginning, Muhammad, he praised alcohol and he says it's a sign from Allah, a miracle of Allah. There's a stupid kid, he is maybe 60 years old, but for me they are kids. His name, what his name? Monkey Box. I know his nickname, I forget his Nadir Ahmed. He, you know, this guy, he called Christians one by one, and he said to them, according to scientific studies, that many Christians, they are born of a birth defect because the mother, she drink alcohol. So he called me and he have the same, you know, to me. Actually, he the same question he asked it to David Wood, but with David Wood he can play. With me he could not. Watch it and die laughing. Literally. I asked him, so is alcohol bad or good? And you know, those people, because they have their experience with me, they don't dare even to answer because they knew something fishy is going on. Oh, he just said what? Is the alcohol good and bad? So Christian Prince, why you are changing topic? Abdul, what changing topic? I'm not changing topic. Christian Prince, you are not giving me time to talk. Like, what the heck? So they do their best. They, you know, they knew who they can target, who is the one who really don't listen carefully for what they say, and he don't have much knowledge of Islam. So why the Quran says that alcohol is a sign from Allah, it's a miracle. The Abdul was calling me to tell me that alcohol is harmful. In fact, no, alcohol is not harmful. Alcohol is very useful for many things, but as anything in earth, too much of it will kill you. Too much water, you will be drowned. Even air, if you go in a motorcycle or if you have a high-speed car without a top of it, and you go 200 miles an hour, you are not going to be able to breathe. Even there is too much air facing you because too fast. to be able to breathe it. So too much water can kill you, too much sugar can kill you, too much salt can kill you, too much food can kill you. Anything without balance can kill you. But alcohol is not what is bad. It is the use of it. How you use it. The Lord, he says, little of it will bless your heart. Little of it will bless your heart. Even doctors agree that those who have a heart problem, it's good to take little of alcohol a day. It's good for the heart. Here you will see in chapter 16, verse number 67, it says, and from the fruits and the grapes for you to make, look at the fast translation, juice. Look at this. It says juice. The translation says juice. Do you see the deception? In Arabic it says sakaran. You drink, you're drunk from it. You're drunk. You get drunk with it. Do you see the false translation? Can you believe it? The word sakaran, which means alcohol, to get drunk, become juice. If we change the translator, let's see who is this translator. This is Ahmed Raza Khan. Okay, let us change the translator, shall we? Arbari. Arbarun. Look what happened. We just changed the translator. Miracle. Words disappear, words appear. Do you see it? And this is a sign for the people who understand. So according to the Quran, not only he praise it, that it's a good thing, a provision. Surely it is a sign. So the Quran claimed that Allah is the winemaker, and this is a sign for you, a miracle. This is the Quran. Somebody's asking what is the breaking news. The breaking news that Aisha, she reported that one of the wives of the Prophet, she have a yellowish drop coming from her vagina, and we wanted everybody to know because that is very serious. And she put a dish, so we want you to know that don't please use that dish. It's a holy dish now. That is the breaking news. Don't you see it says Aisha breaking news, Aisha agency. So what do you expect from Aisha? Aisha, she said, the Prophet, he used to suck my tongue when I am fasting. He used to do what? What he used to do? Imagine your wife. Imagine, like I'm married, thank God I'm not. And now my wife, she come and said, hey guys, CP, he sucked my tongue when I'm fasting. What the heck is that? What the heck is that? What kind of wife she share such an information with everybody? They have no shame. Even the Mohammedan, they say there's la haya fi din. There's no shame in the religion of Islam. I'm not the one who's saying that. Muhammad, he sucked her tongue, and the whole world now need to know. And how the Muslim, they answer this is, why not? We should learn what the Prophet used to do, so we do it too. What if the Prophet used what? Oh boy. Any Abdul? Until now, zero Mohammedan trying to contact us. Hey admin, are you posting my Skype account? I don't see admins posting it. Nobody is posting anything. Those admins are like, you know, having vacation here. Yeah. All right. Anyone? Taiwo is trying to contact me. I got no contact. Be careful. Don't contact me to the old Skype like Debate TV. I'm not using it no more. I stopped using it because too many, you know, too much people in there, like thousands and thousands and thousands. It's impossible to, you know, you open it, you find like every time I open it, like 1,000 text messages. So I will do the same even here, you know. I will use an account for some time, and then I will go to different account, so I don't get stuck with tens of thousands of text every day I open it. This is my Skype if you are a Mohammedan trying to contact me. And as you see, we make it for you as a like you know, very detailed, so there's no way to have, because some people they might use a name close to my name just to make you fool you, make you think it's me. And remember, I don't text people in Skype, I don't send you messages, I don't send you files, and I don't ask for donation. So if you receive any messages from anyone, even there's somebody was posting having a name like mine, he called himself Christian Prince too, you know, and he claimed that I am asking for donation for orphans in Nigeria. True story. So be careful. Don't make the scammers. As you see, we go live on air, we finish the live, I don't even mention the word donation. So why in the world I'm going to go and post a comment says, hey guys, support us, we want to support a orphan. The only orphan I know is Mohammed, and he is dead. Any Mohammedan here? Okay, we have somebody trying to contact us. Let us see. Text me only if you are a Muslim. Don't text me if you are not. I'm calling this guy. Let us hope it's a Muhammadan. He is not answering. So why you text me if you don't want to answer? Yeah, no. He sent me a message. He said, can I call? Okay. Look how silly the questions. Look at this one. He sent me a message here. If the wages of sin is death, physical and spiritual, first of all, you know, when we say death, the spirit don't die, but sin destroy your soul. but spirit don't die. You are an ignorant. So if the wages of sin is death, physical and spiritual, did the Holy Spirit also die for our sin? And this is what happened when you try to teach the gospel to a monkey. When we say die for our sin, does not mean that really God is gone. God is dead. In fact, even the Bible says, even when Jesus was in the tomb, Jesus still was alive in his spirit. So Muhammadan is silly. He do not know our book, he do not know his religion, and he tried to make a mockery. This is why we laugh at you. Even your God do not know what the Christians even believe. Your God think falsely, because he's a false God, that we Christians believe that Mary is God and Jesus is the Son of God who married Mary. If you go to the Bible, you will see the following. Let me put a verse in the screen. Give me a second. My friend, God is always alive. Always. All right. Read with me, Abdul. Potato. 1 Peter 3:18. For Christ also has once suffered for sins. This is our sin. The just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God. Put to death in the flesh. So Jesus, they put him to death in the flesh, but he is quickened by the Spirit. This is the translation saying that, but he is always alive by the Spirit. Let me show you another verse. I mean, we have tons, but anyway, the Muslims, when they speak about Christianity, they think Christianity, when they say God, he died for us, that's it, God is not there, he's gone. That's why we Christian, we believe in the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. So they killed the flesh of the Son. But God the Father is alive, and God the Holy Spirit is alive, and even Jesus himself, the Messiah, he is dead by the flesh, but the Spirit is always alive. And Jesus, when he was killed by the flesh, he said, I lay down myself, nobody can take myself from me. So it is not them who were able to kill him. It is Jesus laying down himself. He said, you can destroy this temple and I will resurrect it in 3 days. Anyway, do we have any Muhammadan, brave Muhammadan? And in fact, Jesus in Islam is more convincing that he's God than Jesus in Christianity, and I will tell you why. In Islam, Jesus, he created from the mud the bird. So the Muhammadan, they say, the Quran said that this is by the will of Allah. Allah gave him permission, but that will not change any fact that he's a creator. As we speak now, there's birds flying in the sky made by Jesus himself, not by Allah. But the Quran said that Allah is the one who created everything. So how Jesus can create from the mother bird, but the Quran says Allah created everything? Read and laugh. Did Jesus create anything or only Allah created? The Quran says, I create for you. Supposedly Jesus is speaking. If we go here, there's tons of verses in front of us speaking that Allah is the creator of everything. But in the same time, we find in the Quran that Jesus is the creator. And actually the Quran confirmed that Allah is the best of the creators, which is simply a stupid statement, because Islam is based on what? The monotheism of Islam. They claim they have it, that Allah is the only creator of the whole world. Then Allah, he says he is the best of the creators, as we see in those chapters, chapter 23 verse 14 and chapter 37 verse 125. Even Allah, he compared himself to Baal, claiming that Baal is a true God and he is a true creator, but Allah is better creator. Read it. If Jesus say the same statement as Muhammad, then Jesus, he just agreed that Baal is God. Because if I say I am the best of the creators, speaking of Baal, that means I agreed that Baal is a creator and I am a creator. And Allah claiming that he is the best of the creators, but what is the proof? Talk is cheap. We did not hear the voice of Baal, neither the voice of Allah. So what the difference is? What is the difference between Baal, the fake God, and Allah? Any Muhammadan? Baal and Allah, they share the same thing. Nobody hear even their fart. Prove me wrong. Captain Majid, he have conference call. He was ordering camel urine. Hey, Captain Majid, I hope you got your order for camel urine. I hope it's fresh. So can you take your drink of camel urine and call me, Captain Majid? As long as you have a conference call, why you don't call us? Share with us the conference call, Captain Majid. Troll. Christian Prince worship 3 gods. It's you who worship many gods. Look at this. Allah and Baal and Jesus and all of them, they are creators. How many gods you have? How many creators? Actually, if we ask any Muhammadan, how in the world Allah he says such a statement, they don't know how to answer. And then they try to fix it. They say, no, Allah, like as an example, you create a bicycle, you stupid idiot potato. What bicycle? Bicycle is not a creative idea, is not creation. We're talking about God. So Allah comparing himself when he, okay, if we say it's a bicycle, that means Allah he's saying he make bicycle better than the bicycle. Do you know Captain Majid? For sure, my son. I was doing mut'a a lot in the Middle East. Let me block you. You might be one of my kids, I don't know. You know, once upon the time I claimed to be a Muslim prophet, and then women, they start coming to me, offering themselves for me in the bed to make me happy. You know, I mean, one of the clear signs that you are a prophet of God, not a scumbag, to make verses coming from God saying any woman she want to offer herself to the prophet to F her. I mean, isn't it obvious that this God, this guy Muhammad, don't want anything for himself? He just want decency. You can F all of those, Muhammad. Look how many. Okay, Muhammad, we made lawful for you your wives. Now you forget to. Now he is effing them for the last century, and now you are telling him we made them lawful. Deep. And whom paid your mahar? Okay. Okay. And those captive, what the heck he can F the captives? Whom your right hand possess, okay. Whom Allah given you, Allah gave you, Allah gave him those captives to F them? Okay, that's the blessing from Allah. Rape. And the daughter of your uncle, what the heck? And the daughter of your auntie, and the daughter of your uncle from the other side, and the daughter of your khala from other side, and any believing migrant, she migrated with you, F her, okay. And any believing women offer herself to the prophet, and look how they lie. They say to wish to marry her. What? He wished to marry her. She offered herself to marry her. Where is the word marry? It says yastankihuha. Read it. To F her. So Muhammad is a very decent man. He was praying to Allah all the time. And then Allah, he said to himself, man, this man is short of women. He is not effing enough, excuse my language. So he decided to make, I mean, who is left in town? He cannot F. Who left? And then, you know, the Muhammadan, they make videos to refute me. Christian Prince lie when he said the word nikah mean to F. Okay, let's see if it's true or not. Here we go. The word nikah has nothing to do with marriage. How I can prove it in 2 minutes? Not even 1 second. Hold on. If a Muslim, he lied to you, and he says, that the word nikah mean, let me see if I can find it in English, mean marriage, we can get them busted so easy. And this is very authentic hadith. Read it. Do everything when your wife, she have her menstruation, do everything with them except nikah. Except what? Nikah. Look, in Arabic. Isna'u kulla shay illa nikah. She's your wife. And now she have her period. So do with them everything except nikah. So what nikah is? The Muslim translated as intercourse. Read it in front of you. Do you see how we can get them busted in 2 seconds? Do with them everything except intercourse. And all of this is authentic hadith. And they translate the word nikah, which is here, into what? Intercourse. So when they say to you, Christian Prince is lying when he say that the word nikah does not mean, it does not mean marriage, it's in front of you. They are the wives already, but now they have menstruation. So do with them everything except nikah. It is the F word. If you don't believe me, go to a Muslim chat room and tell them I want to do nikah. They will block you and they will say the F word to you right away. If the word nikah mean marriage, why they will be upset? You know what I mean? Are you getting my point? Actually, once I did record it. I don't know if I can find the video. I went to this is in the time of Paltalk. They keep saying to me, so I changed my name. I changed the name of Christian Prince, and I went to multiple Islamic chat rooms, and I say, hello guys, any girls here? I want to do nikah. They start cursing me, yo, etc. I mean, if the word nikah mean marriage, and I'm saying I want to get married, what is the problem? Why they get so upset? In fact, I was saying by such and such a statement, I want to do if. This is why they get upset. If you say I want to get married, why do they want to go crazy? This is how you can prove it so easy. But as you see, this is their false prophet saying, when your wives have menstruation, do everything except intercourse. And here you ask yourself, what do you mean do everything? Muhammad, he used to throw a tissue on the women private part, little tissue, and he fondle her. A Catholic priest converted to the true religion. My friend, I have the wife of Muhammad. She left Islam and she became a Christian. You want to call me to show you the reference? Is it true that your prophet wife herself, she left Islam and she became a Christian? And you are going to, okay, you know, people do stupid things. A Catholic priest converted to true religion. Which is one? The one who give you endless penis? He like penises. Maybe he's a homo like your prophet. Do we have any Muhammadan? Islam is winning, my friend, but this means your prophet is a liar, because your prophet, he said that Islam will go back to its hole like a snake, like a serpent. So are you saying to me again your prophet is a liar? As I know, Islam is losing. No Muslims want to follow Islam at all. Which country follows Islam? Nobody. Nobody. Potato, 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 potato. And you know, I find it really amazing that Muhammad, when he described how his religion will become like a serpent going inside its hole. I mean, did you ask yourself why Muhammad even chosen such a statement to describe Islam as a serpent? I mean, he can say a lion going back to its home, not a serpent. Call me CP. Okay, give me your Skype. I will call you. Give me your Skype. Post your Skype. How I'm going to call you. Post it, post it. You didn't see the video of Ali leading Dawah? Brothers and sisters, we are the only one who is defending Islam. 100,000 Muslims leaving Islam in England alone a year. So he want to collect donation, and now he is speaking of 100,000 leaving Islam a year in England alone. So how many Muslims will be left after 10 years? Allah knows best. Give me your Skype. Tayo. Islam is whining. Yeah, not winning. Muhammad, he said many things, by the way, proving him to be false prophet. As an example, Muhammad, he claimed that the judgment day will not come until the Roman are the majority of mankind. So who is the major population in the world? The Roman. The Muslim, they try to fix it, the Muhammadan, they say, oh no, he meant the Christians. Let me show you. Where is the hadith? Hey, come on, at least one Muslim. At least one Muslim. Let us see, where is the hadith? Here we go. This is Sahih Muslim, this is very authentic. I heard Allah Messenger saying, the last hour would come when the Roman would form the majority amongst the people. Do you see it? Any Muhammadan? Potatoes. And if the Muhammadan, they say this is mean the Christians, well, we are the majority of mankind since long time ago. So where the judgment day come? If he meant the Roman, which is a stupid thing to say that the Roman is the majority, because the Roman, even in the time of Muhammad, they are not the only Christians. Roman are Roman, it's an ethnic, it's not, there's the Ethiopian Christian, there's Indian Christians, the Christianity went all the way to China, to the heart of Africa. Muhammad spoke specifically about the Roman. The Roman will be, not the Christians. And all of us, we knew that Italy is suffering from the loss of population. Those people in Italy, they became, many of them, they have like the culture of hippie. Nobody want to get married, they want to have children, so they are going down in population. It's the opposite of what Muhammad said. The Roman is not the majority of mankind. They are a smaller, Philippines will make 3 countries like Italy. Joshua Noon, he said, no matter as a Catholic priest or non-Christians anyway. That is a stupid statement of you, my friend. Get lost. Catholic priest, Protestant, Orthodox, they are Christians, and you are being stupid. And this is exactly what the Quran said. The Quran said, He, Allah, will divide the Christians and spread hatred and stupidity between them. So when a false person who is ignorant, who do not know his book, he think that a Catholic priest is not a Christian, he is just being a donkey. The same as if a Catholic, he says a Christian Protestant is not a priest. You are just being a donkey too. Chapter 5, verse number 14, it says, and those who say we are a Christian, we took a covenant with them, which is stupid. I mean, where Allah, he took something with us? Nothing. That's false. And they have forgotten a portion of what they have reminded. So we strained up among them enmity and hatred. So anytime you see a stupid fool, he claimed to be a Christian, he is trying to divide the Christians from any side, he is serving the devil Allah. If a Catholic attack the Protestant by saying they are no Christians, he is being a fool. A Christian is a person who believes in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, the crucifixion of Jesus, the salvation of Jesus, and the coming back of Jesus. And that Jesus, he have the power over all the flesh and everything created by him and for him. If you believe in that, you are a Christian, and nobody can strip you from that. It's not a title of a church you belong to. Only foolish people think that if you belong to a church, you belong to God. You only belong to God when you have the fruits of a Christian. This is why the Lord, he says, from their fruits you shall know them. Not from their names. Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, who care? Those actually, all of it is happening because of politics. This is not the biblical teaching. The church is the church. Any two of you mention my name, I will be between them, the Lord said, which means that is a church. It's not a priest. It's not even a temple. It's not even a building. Only foolish people follow priests. Priests are sinners like us, and they can be even more sinners. That's why the Bible says, be aware of false teachers. When the Lord, he says, from their fruits you shall know them, he was talking about what? He was talking about those who dress like priests, those who present themselves as prophet, not just normal people. So don't be stupid and silly, and whatever stupid priest he taught you, like Muhammadan. You know, there's many priests are donkeys like the Muhammadan Imam. Literally. And actually, many of them, they think by division they can flourish. Oh, my church will take you to God. His church will not take you to God. As if we have a Walmart store. You know what I mean? There's no church can take you to God. Only God can take you to him. He said, knock at my door and I will open for you. Knock at my door and I will open for you. Not knock at the door of the priest. Most of the priests are businessmen like Muhammad. They will not even bury you unless you pay them first, like Muhammad. They will not perform wedding unless you pay them first, like Muhammad. For they are doing business. They go and visit the rich and they ignore the poor, many of them. Like, you know, in the election in USA, if you are a big donor, Trump, he will send you a letter. George Bush, Biden, he will send you a letter, thank you. But the poor, you American, nobody send you a letter. The one who have millions, they give millions. And then later, they give them jobs like a culture ambassador or ambassador in such a country nobody heard of. Because you paid money, you paid for a position. And those who have millions, they enjoy it to be ambassador. They pay them back. It's a bribe. You cannot bribe God. He will not give you a position. He will not make you a minister. Your money doesn't count for him. When somebody says to you, if you donate to me, you will go to heaven, he is a fraud guaranteed. That happened only in the cult of Muhammad. Even Muhammad, he was begging the Muslims to give Allah a loan. Have you ever heard of God who need a loan? And Muhammad, he promised them that Allah will double it many times. In one verse says twice, in the other verse many times. scammers, all false leaders in the world, they want two things or three things, which is connected together: money, sex, and power. All of them. Go study every single case of a cult leader. You will see they share the same thing. They ask you for your money. They want your woman. And they want to have authority. Very simple. All cult leaders. Prove me wrong. Until now, zero Muhammadan dare to contact me. Why Allah He forbid the riba? How Allah forbid the riba? I just showed you a verse says Allah will multiply your interest. It's in the front of your eyes. Isn't it this is a riba? You gave Allah money, and who will present Allah? Muhammad. What Allah He gave you in return? He multiply. That is riba. When you put your money in the bank He take your money and give it to somebody else as a mortgage. In return, they give you interest. Is that correct? That is riba. Same time, the Muslims, they found a solution. So now they have something different from riba. They just changed the name of it. So it's false. Anyone will try to change our topic to talk about Catholic and Protestant, I will block you, just to a warning. And here we are Christians, we believe in Jesus, and anyone don't like it, you don't think and you cannot even try to make division between us. And here, Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox are my brothers and sisters in Christ. So watch your mouth, otherwise I will step on your head the same as the Lord step on the snake head. Do we have any Muhammadan? It is in the Bible that interest is forbidden. In the Quran, if you give it to Allah, it's okay. Allah, He gave you the interest. And actually, this is what makes Muhammad rich. As an example, you cannot meet Muhammad without paying him. All of you can come to me here, and you stay with me for every day. We stay how many hours? You don't need to pay a penny. But in the case of Muhammad, you have to pay Muhammad in order to see Muhammad. And then he made a verse about it, says, well, you know what? If you want to meet the Prophet, Allah said, not me. You see, Muhammad always he make himself like, it's not me who's asking for the money. It's not me. I have nothing to do with it. Allah said that. Allah. I'm not after money. Allah said, if you want to meet me, you have to pay. Okay, what? Why? Because it's a private consultation. It's a private consultation. You see it? I speak to tons of Muslims offline because they are afraid to speak with their voice and record it. And many of you here, ex-Muslims who spoke to me, did I charge you anything for private consultation? This is Muhammad. As I said, all cult leaders, they wanted three things: power, sex, and money. All of them. If we look at Jesus, he never asked them to make him a king. He don't want to have an army, for he is the King of Kings already. He did not ask them for their money. He never even owned a donkey. He never even have a servant. Even he washed the feet of his own disciples. And he taught them, you cannot be a master unless you are a servant. Do you see the difference between those fraud, who they call themselves leaders, religious leaders, and those can be existed in every religion? They would take advantage of the people. Every religion in the world, regardless if it's true from God or not. Religious leaders, who they are not true believers, false, they always try to take advantage of those who follow them. And Muhammad is a great example. Until now, we have zero Muhammadan, and as you see, the Muhammadan are terrified to call me. So I'm going to close my Skype now, and I think we had enough for today. I better finish before I lose my voice. I'm not going to ask you to share my videos, because you share them or not, I do my part. I know many people are lazy, they don't care. But when you share it, you'll receive a blessing from the Lord for maybe changing the life of somebody without you knowing. There's many people, they leave Islam, I do not know them. I never met them, I never even heard they did, because somebody posted my video somewhere and the person he watched it, or somebody was going to convert to Islam and he decided to leave or not to convert. And I have tons of stories about people watch my videos, and this is why they search for the topic of Islam, because they were interested. And then they stop by one of my videos. So when you post, you will receive the blessing of saving and changing the life of somebody. And as you know, this devil religion trying their best to hunt your kids. So you can receive a blessing from the Lord by saving the life of somebody you do not know about him or her. Because at the end of the day, it's you who posted, which means because of you, he saw it or she saw it. And because of you, he changed the course of his life. So you will receive a great blessing. And for sure, it's up to you. So I want to say thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. And this is your brother Christian Prince, who is serving you humbly for today. And we prove every day that Islam is invalid and truthful and holy and scientific and great and humane and good, if I can say. If you think I'm wrong, I challenge you to call me next time I go live. I'm losing my voice. I'm out of coffee. So I'm drinking the left of the coffee, you believe it, and that will make the coffee stuck in my throat. I do make the heavy Greek coffee. So if you know a Muslim who is claiming to be a scholar, someone with big beard, someone he claimed that he is an ustad, as they call him in Indonesia, be the man. Guess what? If you are too big to be calling, I will call you. I'm very humble. I will call you and I will make the whole world see who's your prophet. So if you are ashamed, you will not invite me to call you. Just give me your Skype and I will. Your name is Zakir Naik? That even will be better, because this is the most stupid idiot between you. Listen, Prince, first of all, I'm not stupid. Zakir Naik, you are. If you are not, prove me wrong and accept my challenge to debate you live on air and let the whole world be the judge. Listen, Prince, first of all, you have to bring 2,000 people with you to debate me. Zakir Naik, I will not bring anybody. A man is the one who debate a man. You do not need to bring with you people. I do not need to bring people with me. Be a man and accept. If your God is with you, you will win. As your God is with you. Listen, Prince, first of all, it's haram in Islam to say God is with us, because Allah is in heaven. Idiot. That's not what I meant. If Allah is with you, which means He will support you, then you will win. Listen, Prince, first of all, I do win without debating you. What the heck? How you win without debating me? Exactly, because if I debate you, then I'm going to lose. So I win better if I don't debate you. Okay, Zakir, I have to say what you always say. You got the point. Thank you. Take care and God bless you all and see you soon. God bless.